Welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. So in my last video, as I said, I was gonna do a Q&A. So this is what this video is gonna be. So on my Instagram, for those that follow me, I put a question box on my story, basically giving people an opportunity to ask me questions about my most recent show, just anything they wanted to know in terms of the prep, the journey, my plans for the future. So I've got 6 questions based on the questions people gave me. So I'm just going to be going through the questions now. So the first question I got was, what made you decide to compete? What made me decide to compete? I don't know. I just wanted to give my training purpose. I wanted to give it more of a purpose, more of a reason. And I've always had a passion for bodybuilding. Like, I've always been into bodybuilding, but in terms of actually competing, I never thought I could be dedicated to prepping for weeks and actually putting myself on stage. Like, there was one point, you would never catch me on that stage in them trunks, impossible. But, you know, my passion for bodybuilding grew, and I started training with certain people, and I was just around a certain crowd, and they motivated me, they encouraged me to jump on stage. So I just thought, you know what, I just went for it. And I just decided I'm going to compete. I'm going to put myself in a competitive environment, and I just went for it. Started looking at shows, and then I booked BMBF, and that was it. Second question, what was the hardest thing about prep for you? Oh, I think the most hardest thing for me personally was the whole lifestyle change. I think that was the hardest part about prep. I feel like a lot of people, they like the idea of competing. They like the idea of jumping on stage, especially some of my friends, people I train with, that have been training for years. You know, they tell me they want to compete because they've been training for years and they want to get something out of it. But in terms of actually prepping for a show, it's a whole lifestyle change. Like, for me personally, the easiest part was training, was the weightlifting. Like, that was the easiest part for me. The actual lifestyle change, so not being able to go out to certain places, turning down motives, having to eat at certain times, prepping my food, just always being low on carbs, low on energy. So the whole lifestyle change was pretty much the hardest part for me. And obviously, because this is my first prep, I've had to, you know, I've never been in this position before. So literally having to change my lifestyle around this competition was the hardest part for me personally. Third question, advice you would give someone who wants to compete for the first time? My advice. So my advice, if you want to compete, you actually want to jump on stage, I would say make sure you're doing it for yourself. You've got to be doing it for the right reasons. I feel like, as I said, a lot of people, they like the idea of going on stage to maybe prove something to other people or whatever it is. I feel like you've got to do it for yourself, because there's going to be times where you're going to be tired, you're going to be demotivated, like, and it's going to be you. You know, you have to pick yourself up. You have to remember your why you're doing this. You know, what you're trying to gain out of this. So my advice would be, make sure you're doing it for yourself, and actually have a think. Is jumping on stage what I want to do? You know, is that actually what I want to do going forward? I think that's it really. Just make sure you're doing it for yourself. And you know, if it's your first show, make sure you get a coach as well. So that's advice I'd give. Definitely get a coach. Don't just think you can do it yourself and try to freestyle it. Nah, get a coach. Get someone that's got experience in terms of, you know, jumping on stage, and is going to be able to guide you in the right direction, because trying to do things yourself, you're going to just add more stress. So get a coach as well. What am I most proud of throughout the journey? I think what I'm most proud of, I think I'm proud of finishing, I can't lie. I'm proud of seeing my whole prep. So I prepped for, I'll probably say like 10 weeks, to be honest, because even before I introduced a coach, I already started making adjustments to my lifestyle. So prepping my food a certain way, increasing my activity in terms of what I'm actually doing. So yeah, I'll probably say my proudest thing about the whole thing is finishing, and also placing as well. So I placed 4th in my show out of 11 other competitors. And it was a very stiff lineup, I can't lie. Like, the competition was tough. It was a tough lineup. And the judges' feedback was actually the BMBF Midlands show that I did, that the novice was one of the best lineups they've seen in many years. So literally, I put myself straight in the deep end, which I like, you know, it sets the bar high. And to finish 4th out of 11, and that was my first show. A lot of others there, they already competed. So they already had the stage presence, the experience. So to finish 4th where I did, that's another thing I'm really proud of too. The guy that placed 3rd in the show, I still speak to him now. He did UK DBA, he did another show and he placed 1st in that show. So it could have been any show I could have done and I could have probably placed higher, but yeah, man, finishing 4th, I'm still proud of it. So I've been training for like 7 years now. I've been training since I was 17. Yeah, I think it's around 7 years. So I've been training for a long time. So, you know, this just didn't happen overnight. It wasn't over a few weeks. It wasn't over a few months. It's been years of training and training to get where I am in terms of mass, in terms of size, in terms of even condition and symmetry. In terms of my actual prep, as I said in the previous questions, so I prepped for roughly around 10 weeks. And going forward, what I need to do is, when I'm jumping on stage again, which will be next year now, is increase my prep. So I'm going to be prepping for a longer period of time. So that's how long I prep for going into the show. Last question, what are your plans going forward? My plans going forward, so I placed 4th at the Midlands qualifier, which means I qualified to the British finals, which is in October. So I've made a decision to not go to the finals. Now, I know there's a lot of people there that have been rooting for me to go for the finals, but right now, I've just got a lot of stuff going on. And I feel like I want to start placing, not that I can't do it, but I want to start winning more regional shows, or even placing top 2 if I want to stand a chance in actually winning the British finals, because that's the whole reason I'll go. I'll go to win. I'm not going to place 3rd or 4th or whatever. But that's not going to be the end of it. I mean, I love my first show, and this was literally me just getting my foot in the door. And going forward, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be competing. So right now, I've already got plans, literally. I've planned everything going forward for next year. So I already know my coach that I'm going for to prep me for my show. My posing coach as well, he's in place. I already know the shows I'm going to be doing next year. So rather than just doing one show, I'm going to be doing 2 or 3 shows next year. So I'm definitely jumping back on stage next year. It's just for now, I'm going to use the rest of the year as an opportunity to, you know, focus on YouTube. I'm going to be working closely with Fash to produce some content, training advice, and I've got some other stuff as well that I'm doing in my personal life as well. So yeah, that's going to be the plan. But I'm still going to be training. I'm still going to be trying my best to keep it tight, because the one thing I need to definitely improve going on stage next year is my condition. So I need to come in tighter. So I'm going to keep things as tight as possible. I'm not going to spill over too much. And then yeah, man, next year I'm jumping back on stage doing multiple shows. So yeah, I'm coming for them titles. I'm coming. If you have any other questions, so if you don't follow me on Instagram already, my at's going to be somewhere here, my handle. So check me out on Instagram, engage with me. If you have any questions that you want to ask that I haven't covered, just drop me an inbox, drop me a DM, email me if you want, and I'm more than happy to answer the questions. Make sure you like this video, guys. Subscribe to my channel. As I said, I'm going to be releasing a lot more videos going forward. So there's going to be lots of content, lots of workout videos, nutrition advice going forward as well. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. We're out.